I have gone back into hundreds of people's Akashic records, deep into their causal woundings across lifetimes, and I want to tell you what I've never found. Not once in all of that work, I've never found a damaged soul. Not one. A soul is never damaged or wounded. It never is. But something is, and until you understand what, nothing changes. Let's start where everything starts. Source, God. Whatever word doesn't put a wall between you and the concept. And I'm not talking about a being you pray to or something you negotiate with. Definitely not a God sitting on a throne judging you. I see Source as pure potential, infinite wisdom, the field behind everything, pure love. There is no place God isn't. And it stays that way by design. You can't reach Source directly, not because there's a secret pass required, but because if it could be reached, it could be corrupted. And the moment it becomes accessible, it becomes hackable. And a corrupted source means a corrupted universe. So it stays pure, untouched, unhackable. What you can connect to is spirit, which is source. Same pattern, same power, expressed as a unique fractal note. Not a piece of God, but a complete replication of the pattern, a unique frequency, yet the same wholeness. Right? A soul isn't less than source. It is source wearing a specific signature. And that signature is yours. Nobody else carries it. Nobody else ever has. So let me explain this as simply as possible because I feel it's really important to share what I've come to understand after decades of working with spirit. Right? Source, God, is pure, potential, untouchable, unhackable. Spirit is the fractal expression of source, always whole, always coherent. And then when spirit chooses to incarnate into a body, we call that soul. That's you, that's me. Spirit in service to experience, in service to density, choosing the physical because nothing else offers what this does. When spirit remains unincarnated in service to those who are, we call those guides, masters, the angelic realm. Another expression of the same spirit, not higher or more evolved, just a different choice of experience. And when spirit incarnates into a fully coherent body, one that has closed its loops, cleared its distortions, and can hold the soul's full frequency without interference, we call that Christ consciousness or Buddha, and hundreds of others across every tradition, every culture, every era of human history. None of this is a rank or comes with a hierarchy. It's simply what becomes possible when the body finally catches up to what the soul already is. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. But here's what nobody tells you about spirit. Spirit is pure energy, infinite, eternal, whole, and cannot feel anything. Right? It can't taste. It can't grieve. It can't hold someone in the dark at 3 a.m. and choose to stay. It can't feel the ache of losing something it loves, or simply know the relief of coming home. Right? The soul exists outside of time, in the eternal now. There's no past, no future. Everything's simultaneous. No goals, objectives, or deadlines. Because when time doesn't exist, neither does urgency, neither does lack. So why incarnate at all? Well, simply because pure energy, no matter how vast, no matter how wise, cannot experience itself. And experience is only possible here in density, in a body, in time. Energy in its pure, undisturbed state knows everything but feels nothing. So it chose a body, a name, a place. It chose confusion, heartbreak, and possibility. Right here, the infinite gets to smell rain, to taste something warm, to feel the sting of rejection and the laughter of friends that follows, to hold a newborn, to bury a pet, to sit in silence with someone where nothing needs to be said. And the soul didn't come to earth for perfection. It came for intimacy. It came with a total yes, choosing the adventure of becoming, ready to taste every color of feeling, to learn, to lose and find, to love and abandon. That's why you're here. It's not as punishment or as a test. You didn't get exiled from somewhere better. It's just as a yes. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. There are no young souls, old souls, baby souls, or damaged souls. Every soul is complete. Every soul carries the full signal of source. What differs is not soul maturity. What differs is what the body is carrying. and how coherent the physical vehicle has become. The soul itself, it doesn't fracture. It folds like light through a prism, like a song scattered across 1,000 echoes. The distortion doesn't live in the soul, it lives in the experience of being human, in the noise of a nervous system, right? In the programs handed down through generations. You are never not divine. You simply entered a realm where divinity is veiled, so that rediscovering it could become a sacred act. And in all my years of master alignment work, going back into people's causal woundings, into their Akashic records, lifetime after lifetime, the soul was never broken, right? Not once. The trauma was always in the field, in the body field. The loops are always in the experiential record. The soul was always the witness, always present, always whole. And what we call forgetting, it isn't loss, it's interference. The soul never forgets, it can't. It's a fractal spark of source, permanently coherent, broadcasting the same signal it always has. So what we call forgetting is simply the human system getting too noisy to hear it. The soul doesn't shrink to fit into the body. The body rises within the soul's field. It's kind of like a flame ascending inside the lantern, right? The soul is the lantern, the body is the flame. The soul was always the larger field. The body is what ignites inside it. The flame doesn't become the glass shapes and guides it. That's incarnation. It's a choice, made with full awareness, made in courage. So if the soul is always whole, why does life feel like this? Why do the same patterns repeat? Why the same wounds that don't make any sense by normal logic? Why the ache that feels older than your body? Now, here's what I've come to understand. Your body isn't damaged. It's being kept deliberately incoherent through stress, fear, fragmentation, distraction, a civilization-wide system that never once taught you how to come home to yourself. Not because knowledge doesn't exist, because the coherent human is ungovernable, right? Loves freely, fears nothing, needs nothing sold to them. Nobody taught you how to be coherent. Nobody taught your parents. Nobody taught theirs. And so the loops accumulate. Never in the soul, it all happens in the body field, in the nervous system, in the ancestral patterns running silently in the background of every choice you make, every relationship you enter, every cycle you keep living through. And your DNA isn't a static blueprint. It's more like a constantly editable operating system. The fear your grandfather carried, the silence your grandmother wore after loss, the shame, the grief, the contraction, it may still be whispering through your body today. It has nothing to do with being cursed, and everything to do with the fractal not being harmonized yet. None of this is karma as punishment. It's unfinished work, seeking resolution through you. Now, between incarnations, the soul doesn't disappear, it attunes. The Akashic fields hold the records, not as wounds to the soul, but as unresolved patterns, loops that didn't get to close, experiences that couldn't be fully processed in one lifetime. They exist in the field as frequency, and that frequency is what draws the soul back towards form. Imagine you're standing at the edge of the Akashic field, not as a seeker peering forward, but as a soul looking back. Like you're watching a movie you've seen before, only now you remember the role you chose to play. And from that fully present, fully detached vantage point, everything looks like a perfect opportunity. Then you arrive. And yeah, it's not always so cool. My daughter, when she was young, still remembered, and she didn't use the word soul, but she knew she had chosen us from somewhere above consciously. She described it clearly without being prompted, the way children do before the body-mind closes over the memory. As a soul, you chose the genetic line, the ancestry, the location, the exact moment in time. None of it is random, because the specific patterns in this lineage match the specific loops that you as a soul came to close. Your family's wounds aren't your burden, they're your curriculum. Chosen before you arrive, precisely, deliberately, and lovingly. You are aware of the inheritance because your soul came here to adjust the trajectory, not to blindly repeat what came before. You didn't stumble into this life, you picked it, you chose it. And not just this life, this now. Out of all the timelines, all the incarnations stretching across dimensions, you chose the one where everything is converging, where old patterns are colliding, where the old world no longer works and the new one isn't quite born yet. This is a threshold incarnation, And you didn't come in for comfort, you came in for contact with the real, the raw, the tension of a planet mid-labor birthing. So if it feels intense, if your nervous system is trying to translate 10 frequencies at once, if you wake up at 3 in the morning with grief that feels older than your body, you're not crazy. You're not breaking down. You're attuning. You're carrying exactly what you came to carry in exactly the right place. You're not here by accident. You didn't just land in a body, in a life, in a timeline, randomly. You were summoned, or more accurately, you volunteered. So what is enlightenment actually? Well, it's not the soul waking up. The soul is already awake, already whole, already coherent. Enlightenment is the body finally becoming coherent enough to hold what the soul already is. Getting the nervous system, the emotional field, the pattern memory, the ancestral code, all of it aligned enough that the soul's frequency can move through without any distortion, without interference, without the old loops pulling the signal off course. A tuned body can hold the soul's frequency without distortion. That doesn't mean never getting triggered or never feeling tired. It really means the system knows how to return to coherence. It knows how to settle after being shaken. That's Homo-Spiritus. Not a superhuman, not an ascended master floating above life. A soul fully embodied, fully present, loops closed, body coherent, here completely. The soul can observe love. Only a human can hold someone while they cry. The soul can understand compassion. Only a human can practice it at 3 in the morning, exhausted, and still choose to show up. You didn't come here to escape the body. You came to remember what the body is, the instrument through which Source gets to feel itself, in rhythm, in motion, in wonder. Mastery was never about escaping the body. It was always about tuning it. You didn't fall from grace. You came here with a wholehearted yes, and with work to do. And the fact that you feel the loops, the patterns that repeat, the wounds that don't make sense, the pull towards something you can't quite name, that's not evidence of damage. That's a soul knowing exactly why it came. So the question isn't, what's wrong with you? The question is, are you ready to stop trying to fix your soul and start letting your body catch up to it? Because you are the spark. You are the spiral and the story. You are the light behind the eyes. Welcome home to yourself. And that's what this work is about. That's what these books are about. Links below. I'll see you in the next one.